Hey everyone, as you know by now, I kinda crave those pistol sidearm type of blaster. I just received another one, and the one I just received is way more interesting than I thought. Let me show you. I'm that old nerf guy, welcome to Tag. This blaster is the Kongli T-21. This is obviously inspired by the Fire Rat and the Viper. At first I thought it was a Fire Rat knockoff, and when seeing it up close and having it in my hand, it got a little bit more in common with the Viper. But this thing is really interesting. I'm gonna have to go on the table. This is the Kongli T-21, but let's do this the proper way. So in that package we had some instruction for the blaster, covering pretty much everything in a not so well translated English. Then we have the blaster itself, the T-21 itself. We had a holster, a Fire Rat type holster. I mean, it's working pretty flawlessly and it's holding the blaster pretty neatly, and we're gonna see that just in a few. We receive a total of 40 but 20 darts with those weird dart head, swerving dart head. I have drawn some of those when designing dart head in a quest for Scar Dart. So those are gonna deserve some try, but the bodies of those darts have been ruined in shipping for both packages, so I'm basically gonna find 20 good foam body, which I'm gonna glue those head on, maybe even take a few dragon dart, remove the head and put those head on it to see if there's any gain whatsoever with those darts. So those are gonna be kept for later. And we have same kind of dart, but in the triple ring Chinese bamboo type of dart with the same head. Those are less crushed. I think I have only like one dart which is ruining the whole package. This is interesting. I might keep them as is. Now for the blaster itself, I have to say it's a big chunky grip, comfortable but kind of chunky. Really, this is as thick as the magazine is, but feels good in hand. I mean, we got the same kind got the same kind of geometry as the Fire Rat, and we have optic fiber for the side, 2 green for the rear one and a red one for the front. It's really nice. The machine barrel, which is not the typical 16mm barrel, it's a 15.2, quite popular in small economical Chinese blaster. But this thing, I'm not expecting power, as most of them are not powerful, but the quality seems to be there. And now this thing, is it? Okay, it's priming. We have a slide lock. Now, for the big question, is it a real slide lock? Oh yes it is. I have only one mag, that's the shame of this thing, but the mag drop is super smooth and the mag insertion is very easy. You see, this blaster kind of suffer from the same problem as the Dart Zone Pro MK 2.1 with a too wide of a grip, a uselessly wide of a grip. In the case of the Dart Zone Pro 2.1 is the size of the mag, which is too big for the grip. In that case, I think it was more in the molding of this blaster that they had to do a straight and a wide grip like that to insert the magazine. I'm gonna explain you why. This blaster got a little difference comparing to your regular blaster. There is no screw, like on a Viper, like on a Fire Rat. There's no screw to separate both half of the shell. This is basically a one-piece black shell with a bottom one-piece white-ish, more like light gray beige shell that goes under it, and that you lock with this pin here, which is the quick disassembly feature of this blaster, because yes, this blaster claims a quick disassembly, and that's pretty neat. That's where it's getting closer to the Viper than the Fire Rat. The Fire Rat is full of little pin, little screw, you need to remove a little spring. This one is more like like a Viper, where you remove 2 pin, you can remove the top part, or a 2 pin and a screw, you can remove the top part, and then you can remove another pin to remove the pusher, to remove the internal with the barrel. This is pretty much the same kind of design, but even simplified. Let me show you. To open the blaster and access the internal, this is where the simplified version of a Viper is. You just remove this bottom part, then you push this little lever up. Normally you can just pull the pin and job done. I forgot the magazine in, but job done. It is dismantled. You could even remove trigger. The spring is fixed to the bottom of the shell. I mean, this is pretty interesting for maintenance. We could just swap out spring in second with this thing. The seal, yeah, I'm gonna show you the seal of this blaster, because previously I've been deceived by seal with the Fire Phoenix pistol, because everything was plastic, unswappable, untunable. This thing is the opposite. It is made so you go inside the blaster, and you see how easy this thing is to put back together, and now it's done. A blaster with that kind of a seal I haven't counted time yet. How long? How long can it hold the seal? Pretty long. It seemed that this seal is pretty perfect. It was not moving. I was checking the spring down the bottom, and the spring was not moving. Meaning, not only we got metal internal, and the thing is kind of upgradable because it's easy to open, but we have an almost perfect seal. So let's do a quick chrono test on this thing before the spring swap, and then I'll do a real-time spring swap on this blaster, and then we'll do another chrono test to show us a little more of the potential. First, let me grab the chrono. I got Bamboo 2.0 dart inside, just so you know, so they're gonna be a bit faster, 90, so that's a 75-ish FPS pistol. Spring sounds weak and rattling inside this thing. 92, 89, 86. Remember, it's Bamboo 2.0. 91, 82, 89, and we're empty. Okay, now let's do a little spring swap on it. For the spring swap, I'll need a spring, which is a 1.6 spring S200 size, so I'm guessing this is gonna work. Like I said, I am not counting the time it will take me to remove this thing. This is to remove the pusher, which normally should come right off. Yep. And then you can just slide off everything. This spring is too soft, too much coil. Then you can just slide it back in. This is exactly like the procedure of rebuilding a gecko. Okay, this is just a bit stiffer because of that new spring. Put that down. Put that here. Oops. This is locked in place. So yeah, seems like pretty much in its place. Now, I think we can't have a blaster with a quicker spring swap than this in the pistol sidearm type of blaster. This is the stock spring, way too soft and wobbly for what I like in those blasters. It's almost easier to prime. Weird. Maybe that blaster was not, that spring was not helping. This is kind of violent. It stayed prime. Can it hold the seal? Pretty much. Pretty much. Is it improved in any way? We're gonna know that. Let me load it and do a full chronograph on this thing with a new spring. So chrono test for this T-21. I'm gonna start with the Bamboo 2.0 to compare with my first test where I had a 90-ish FPS with those, and then we're gonna swap to AF knockoff and worker HE dart. Not sure if I loaded 8 in it, but 6 or 7 are gonna be enough. 120 even with a less than 2-minute spring swap. That's good. 127, 113, 112, 25, oh, my bad, I pushed the lever, it didn't lock. Okay, not bad. I mean, 120-ish. I'm not expecting as high with the AF knockoff, but we'll see. It's chambering. Not bad either, above 100. So this thing got potential. The prime is still super easy. Okay, let's try it with the worker, which will be the definitive test. Red worker HE dart in this thing. Okay. Ooh, 96, 99. They are a bit more tight, but they're working nice. So it will give us a good average of mixed dart, regular dart, bamboo dart, and worker HE dart. To give us a minimum of 96, a maximum of 127.5, and an average of 111. Not bad. This was worth the money. This $40 blaster is really a budget Viper, budget S200. Yeah. I dig it. Let's go fire this thing on the target. This T-21, let's take the bad out of the way right now. The grip is maybe uselessly chunky to my sense. It is very wide. I mean, when you look at the difference between the size of the mag and of the grip, and it is completely hollow. So there is no reason except for production to have it this big. Then there will be power, because this thing only shoot about 75 FPS with the original spring, which is super weak. But as soon as you're gonna put a good spring inside, you're gonna end up with 100 plus FPS with this blaster on a regular dart, which is pretty cool. For the rest, I mean, it's all good. I mean, checking the price point, $40 for the whole package, including this little nifty holster, which is pretty much exactly the same kind of holster you have with the Fire Rat, which holds the blaster very well, but that only release when you press the little switch. And when you have it in your pocket, ready to be used, I mean, you can just drop the blaster in, it's holding, it is secured on your hips, on your leg, and you can release it easily. This is really a nifty package. Then there is the whole quick dismantle aspect of this blaster. You saw me doing it. I did a whole spring swap in what, 90 seconds or about. If you go real time and count it, I haven't. You can go and check it out. If I haven't had to explain that at the same time I would have done it, maybe I would have chopped my time in half. So giving me maybe a 40-45 second time on that spring swap, under a minute. And the way it is built, there is no screw for both half of the shell, because this black part is like one molded piece, and this light grayish white part is the other part of the shell, which give you only two parts that you put together and you secure together with the bottom block and the middle pin, which lock when you push it down. This blaster is pretty much everything I want in one of those blasters. It is mag fed. We got a metal barrel which seals well. It is not the exact 16mm barrel, but it's more like the Chinese format of 15.2. Nonetheless, it is a good barrel. We got an aluminum plunger tube. We got a very good return spring. The thing chambers very well, and the slide lock release lever is a real slide lock, which allow us to swap mag, change it, and then release. And this is a metal lever, which is very solid. We got fiber optic on the side, a red one here, two green one on the rear. This is really awesome. Full of pricey feature in this budget blaster. If you're looking for something really cool, interesting, that's going to be useful, it's going to be this one. The only thing, like for Fire Rat, you will need the proprietary T-mag that go with it. I know Bayou Blaster got them. I'm waiting for his reply on if he can have the black mag and the orange mag, because I saw there was only the blue one on his site. But waiting on his reply, addressing those darts that came with it. They are really cool. I'm going to check them in another video where I check different kind of weird Chinese dart. And those head, I'm going to try to keep them and give them a good body to go with them for the test, because I really want to see if those swirly head, maybe a scar dart, can be useful for long range. This T-21 is really a bit more than just a knockoff or another blaster. It really look like a copy or a knockoff of the Viper, but this thing got a little more to it. It feels solid and so simple. I would really have myself 2-3 spring with me just to be able to swap them to adapt to the match I'm going. This would be a nice little thing to carry around, and it's not really expensive, even come with its own holster. Even on the performance side, this thing is good. I mean, for the price point and for this little of a blaster, this simple of a blaster, giving us with the spring swap I put on it, 110 and plus FPS, plus the accuracy was really there. The thing operates flawlessly. I really think this is a worthy blaster. Yeah, I think that's it for this small video. In the meantime, you can always follow me on Facebook and Instagram at @ThatOldNerfGuy. Please leave a like and comment, subscribe for more content. Don't forget to hit that bell to notify for my latest video. This was Dave Fatag. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.